Good morning, Year 6. Welcome to Monday's Magpie English lesson. We are starting a brand new text this week, and by the end of this week, you are going to write a retell, so a narrative retell. Firstly, our stimulus is an animation called The Lighthouse. Let's watch the video. Okay, so now we have watched the video. That is your stimulus for this week's writing. So we are going to write a retell about the night that the lighthouse suddenly breaks and what happens after that. So we have got a waggle this week, and the waggle I thought was a really good way to retell this animation. Pause the video now and have a quick read through the waggle, thinking about features and vocabulary that really stand out to you that you would like to magpie. Okay, so hopefully you spotted some features that you would like to magpie. First of all, I spotted an expanded noun phrase, a pitch black starry night. I also spotted some really effective Year 6 openers, such as Only the Dazzling Light from the Lighthouse. There are also some really high-level vocabulary in here and phrases. So we have got tirelessly, just be careful of your spelling if you are magpieing this. We have got words like solitary. Again, our waggle could be up-leveled slightly. Solitary being spelt like this. So just make sure you are spelling it correctly. Solitary meaning alone. We have got some beautiful phrases from far out of sea. So we've got a prepositional phrase there. Ship gathered towards him, eyes widening. Some beautiful vocabulary that you can magpie from our waggle today. I would like you to take the vocabulary you would like to magpie and put them into your word bank for today. Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is decide whether this piece of writing I've shown you here is a waggle or a wabble. Is it what a good one looks like or what a bad one looks like? Pause the video now and have a quick read through, and as you are reading, thinking about whether this is a waggle or a wabble. So hopefully you've had a chance to read through, and my question to you is, are up-levelled words always better? I noticed when I read this piece of writing that every single word seemed to have been up-levelled. So we've got, as the moon came riding on the ominous clouds, a chilling November wind wildly blustered and billowed. In the twilight sky, the eerie crescent dangled in the dusk, locked inside a moonlit cage. Although there are some really effective words and phrases here, to me, this felt a little bit like it had been up-levelled too much. So inky black mist covered the elongated orb like a blanket of darkness. Everyone was amazed by this. So this here, this sentence here, everyone was amazed by this, isn't really in keeping with the rest of the work. And I feel that some of the vocabulary here in this first paragraph is a little bit too much. Although there's some really good phrases, so I might highlight the eerie crescent dangled, everything seems to have been up-levelled, and that's not always what we want to do. We don't want to up-level every single word. A narrow path is where a colossal cliff steps, which lead to a frightening fall. Thinking about sense here, it doesn't quite make full sense. The crashing ocean was an enraged beast. So this is the kind of figurative language we studied last week. So this is a really nice way to explain and personify the ocean. So there are some really good phrases here and some really good features to pick out, but just be aware that it is maybe not a waggle of the best quality because everything seems to have been up-levelled. Pause the video now and write a quick piece of advice you would give to this student to improve their work. So our task today is we are going to create a word bank of words and phrases that will help you to retell the animation of the lighthouse. We know that there are some words and phrases from our waggle that we can magpie. So we had things like dazzling light, moonlight, orb, some beautiful phrases to describe the sky, and really describing, if you are aiming for platinum today, that juxtaposition between the light and dark. That's a real theme today. Remembering juxtaposition means two opposite ideas being compared or put next to each other in a piece of writing. So really juxtaposing the light imagery from the dark. So you might have the dazzling light or the moonlight orb against the inky sky. That's an example of juxtaposition. Your reader can really see the light moon, the orb, against the dark sky. Your next challenge then is to write some sentences using your new vocabulary. So I might take my second phrase and make it into a sentence. So I'm stretching it. So the moonlight orb stood, checking my spelling there, peaceful against the inky sky, which was, and I'm trying to make a range of clause structures, so I'm adding an extra clause on the end, which was dotted with stars. I might choose to up-level this second bit afterwards, dotted with stars. I'm not quite happy with that, but maybe in my edit lesson I can up-level that if I can't do it just yet. So, remembering today, you should have a word bank of words and phrases that you've magpied from the animation. Go back and watch it again on YouTube if you want to. It's called The Lighthouse, and from the waggle. And then from your word bank, you should be stretching those into sentences. And if you are aiming for platinum, you should be trying to fit in juxtaposition of the light and dark, so comparing those two ideas. Remember to send your work to your teacher.